Imagine the insulation on a wire inside your washing machine wears down. It snaps, and live electricity surges directly into the metal casing. This diagram shows what happens next. If a person touches that machine, their body instantly becomes a bridge. The electrical current is seeking a path to the ground, and unfortunately, human tissue offers far less resistance than the air. But if we look below the floor, we find a massive electrical sponge. The Earth is a giant conductive mass with an electrical potential of 0. It can absorb practically any amount of fault current safely. To use that sponge, we employ a technique called bonding. As you can see here, a dedicated green and yellow wire connects the non-current carrying casing of the appliance directly to a metal stake buried in the dirt. By physically linking them, the machine's surface is forced to match the Earth's safe 0-volt potential. By creating this continuous, low-resistance loop to the soil, the electricity bypasses you entirely. The surge rushes into the ground, quickly triggering the circuit breaker to trip, turning a lethal hazard into a routine repair. While the planet itself easily swallows stray voltage, the tricky part is getting the electricity into the ground in the first place. The physical point where our copper wire actually touches the dirt is highly inefficient. This bottleneck is known as contact resistance. It's the literal friction point that prevents electricity from smoothly leaving the metal electrode and entering the soil. If that contact resistance is too high, the fault current gets trapped in the system. The circuit breaker doesn't detect a large enough surge to trip, and the exterior of the appliance stays fully electrified and highly dangerous. The challenge is that dirt isn't uniform. The contact resistance in damp, loamy soil is very low, but in dry sand or solid bedrock, the resistance spikes. Because geology changes drastically from one town to the next, engineers cannot rely on a single, universal setup. Securing our homes from electrical faults requires specific metal geometries designed to outsmart the exact type of dirt buried right beneath our feet. Let's start with the ideal scenario. You are building in standard, easily excavated soil that holds a good amount of natural moisture year-round. For this environment, engineers often use rod earthing. As you can see in this photo, these copper-bonded steel rods have pointed tips, so they can be driven directly into the ground with a hammer. You can even screw multiple rods together at the top to reach deeper, more conductive soil layers quickly. This schematic details a more robust upgrade called pipe earthing. A 2.5-meter perforated galvanized iron pipe is buried vertically in a pit. To lower the surrounding resistance, the space around the pipe is packed with a homogeneous mixture of charcoal, salt, and sand. Notice the wire mesh funnel near the surface. The perforations running down the pipe allow maintenance workers to pour water directly into the assembly during dry summer months, restoring dampness to the soil and maintaining high conductivity. Both of these vertical methods are highly economical, but their ability to save lives remains entirely dependent on keeping that contact resistance low through consistent ground moisture. That works for a house, but what about a heavy-duty industrial setting, like an electrical substation? If a fault occurs, the massive surge of current would instantly overwhelm a simple metal pipe. This schematic illustrates the solution for high-voltage environments: plate earthing. Instead of a narrow pipe, a large 600 by 600 millimeter plate of copper or galvanized iron is buried vertically deep inside a specialized pit. That massive metallic surface area drops the contact resistance dramatically. By examining the bolted connections in Detail A, you can see how the heavy ground wire is secured, providing a wide enough exit ramp for high-intensity fault currents to dissipate without destroying the equipment. But high voltage isn't the only obstacle. Imagine installing a system where pure bedrock sits just a few feet below the surface. Digging a deep vertical pit or driving a rod is geologically impossible. This animated diagram shows the workaround: strip earthing. Instead of going down, the system goes out. Long strips of copper wire are laid flat in shallow horizontal trenches, spreading the electrical current across a wide, flat plane of soil. Whether driving an electrode deep, making it incredibly wide, or spreading it across the surface, Electrical engineers constantly manipulate the geometry of the metal to outsmart the strict geological limits of the construction site. However, there are environments where traditional geometry simply isn't enough. In deserts or mountainous, rocky terrains, the natural soil resistivity can easily exceed 1,000 ohm meters. Standard moisture-dependent electrodes will either fail to conduct electricity or quickly corrode away. To fix this, engineers deploy a maintenance-free solution known as chemical earthing. This cross-section reveals a dual-pipe chemical electrode. It uses a pipe-in-pipe design filled with conductive salts, encased in specialized earth-enhancing backfill. The compound slowly leaches into the dirt, pulling ambient moisture from the dry ground to lower contact resistance and prevent corrosion. When the natural environment refuses to conduct electricity safely, this chemical enhancement alters the soil composition itself to force the earth to cooperate. Beneath the asphalt of any brightly lit modern city, you will find that there is an entire world of buried engineering. Every time a washing machine spins, a factory operates, or a power grid hums, it relies on this hidden network of metal plates, copper strips, and chemical compounds. Earthing is the ultimate safety net. It works silently in the dark dirt, neutralizing lethal danger the moment it sparks, and protecting the lives of everyone walking above.